What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Enter the CineVault. So I know I've been away for a little bit. I've been really busy with work recently, and it's been tough to kind of sit down and record and get a video out. But we finally got some really cool updates here to talk about, and I figured why not tackle those. One of them is for Crystal Lake. Another one is for a new project in the works that we knew was on the horizon, but we didn't really have any concrete evidence of anything starting anytime soon. And the third update is something that we heard a rumor about a little while back that we weren't sure that they would greenlight something so quick without another movie being done ahead of it. And I think we finally just got confirmation on that as well. So we're going to get into updates here for Crystal Lake, Halloween, and Scream 8. So let's take a look at some stuff over here now. Okay, so first up here, this was sent over to me by my buddy Sham. Shout out to Sham if you're watching. Thank you for this article. This comes from NewJersey.com. And what we're looking at here is pretty much the casting updates for right there, as you see, Friday the 13th prequel series, Crystal Lake for May 24 is casting New Jersey locals. And then below it gets us all the details, but there's some interesting stuff in here on top of just some of the casting. So this right here says, get ready to head back to Camp Crystal Lake. The fictional home of Friday the 13th horror franchise is the setting for the upcoming prequel series called Crystal Lake. This is a 1970 set show produced by A24 for Peacock. So now we know what streaming service it's going to go to, and we have the idea that this is going to be a period piece set in the 70s. So moving right along, we get into more details kind of just about the franchise, stuff most of us already know. Gives us a detail here about where the original was shot, which again, most of us I think already know about. But let's move down further. Here's our casting for Linda Cardellini, playing a young Pamela Voorhees. The series is set in 1971 and will film in New Jersey from June through October. So that to me sounds like we're not going to see it this year. We could possibly see it early to mid 2026. So that's a bit of a bummer, but at least we know that this is getting filmed this summer. Moving on, we have in Friday the 13th, Voorhees is the murderous mother of slasher villain Jason, who would star in the films that have spanned 29 years, from 1980 to 2009. In later films, he would sport a signature hockey mask. So that is the look that we all know and love of Jason. And there's a look at Linda Cardellini, who was cast as a young Pamela Voorhees. I have to say, I'm pretty good with that casting. I think she's going to take on the role pretty well. Okay, and next up we have some casting information here. So to get into that, here are the details for those interested in applying to become an extra in Crystal Lake. Grant Wilfie Casting is seeking New Jersey locals to serve in various roles for the production codename Mama's Boy. So the casting agency needs young people 18 and older to appear in the show this summer. The production is looking for people with natural colored hair, no highlights, etc., men with long or shaggy hair, no facial piercings or visible tattoos. If interested, you can apply by sending those details right there with the subject line, young people, and your full name and all of your details. So moving on from there, we also get Crystal Lake is also looking for children ages 14 to 17 to play high school students. The show needs kids with natural colored hair, longer hair to apply. Send your details to the same email. What else do we have here? All the same details if they want to apply. Okay. And moving on from there, we get the production also needs children ages 8 to 13 to play campers. The show needs kids with natural hair color, blah, 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 all the same stuff. So this gives us an idea of kind of what we can expect here. We're going to see a 70s set show, so a time period piece set in the 70s. We're going to have young Pamela Voorhees. We're going to have campers and camp counselors is what that sounds like to me, casting the high school aged kids. So that gives us a little bit of an idea on what we can expect from Crystal Lake. 70s period piece, young kids as campers, older kids, probably camp counselors. So that's our details for now. I'm sure more will come out in the near future as this starts filming and gets further into production, and we will be on the lookout for more updates. Okay, so moving on from Crystal Lake, this is a big one for me. We've known for quite a while now, I think over a year, that this Halloween TV series has been in the works in some type of development, but there's been nothing really concrete that's come out in this past year. So we've been patiently waiting, and luckily enough for Production Weekly, we finally got something concrete that something is in the works. Not that we didn't already know a series was in development, but right here, if you look where I had this highlighted, we will re-highlight it right there. From Production Weekly in early May, beginning of the month actually, it's got Untitled Halloween Project here. So that right there could be the TV series. It could finally be like an actual concrete piece that we've been waiting for, letting us know that this is finally very close to at least getting into pre-production or moving on to production. Still really nothing overly concrete about if this is the TV series or if this is an upcoming movie. That's another thing that could be in the works. They could decide to shift gears a little bit, give us a new movie, and then move on and do the TV series afterwards, and maybe do the movie tying into the series and set it up that way. Or it could just be on track for the series first that leads into a movie that we kind of anticipate will happen by the 50th anniversary. So as far as the Halloween news, it is a little bit light, but just that concrete, we know an Untitled Halloween project is finally coming in the works. That's a really good thing. That's something that we've been really waiting on for a very long time. So it's great to see this finally in print and in writing, and that we can expect, something to move forward in the near future. All right, and then moving on from Halloween, we have Scream 8. We've heard that Scream 8 has been in some kind of development or was rumored to be in development when Scream 7 kind of got into filming and into production. So I was a little bit skeptical. I kind of figured that was just rumor mill, not much to take away from that. But again, if we look here, right here in Production Weekly, they have Scream 8 on their slate here of all of these other titles. And then if we hop over here, we do have some details that kind of pertain to this that says rumors and reports suggest that Scream 8 is already in development with filming potentially starting as early as August. So they've just wrapped filming a few months ago on Scream 7. And this is talking about maybe even getting it part 8 started as early as this August. So I think that's a little bit quick and a little bit ambitious. But if we move on here, it says some speculate that Scream 7 will end on a cliffhanger, leading to the need for Scream 8 to be developed and filmed sooner than usual. This would be the first time in the franchise ends on a cliffhanger. So that kind of lines up. So if we do end up hearing that Scream 8 goes into filming in August, then I think that's a little bit of spoiler territory for 7. But it is kind of cool that we know that 7's going to end on a cliffhanger. We still have to see the movie. We still have to see how it's going to play out and what's going to happen. What is that cliffhanger going to be? And then we're finally getting a 2-part story here, for the Scream franchise, which is something that hasn't been done. It would be a welcome change for me. I want them to break from formula and give us something different, do something new. I think it's too on the nose with the formula, and let's shake things up. I think it's well overdue to shake things up, throw the audience some curveballs, and give us something that we won't expect. All right, so there we go. We got a few horror updates, some stuff that wasn't expected, some stuff that was kind of rumors in the works, and a pretty big update on Crystal Lake that gives us some ideas on, what time period it's set in and what we can expect. And I think most of us have known for quite a while now this is going to be, I think, a Pamela Voorhees prequel story. But it's cool to see they're going to set it back at the camp. We're going to have counselors, we're going to have campers, and we're going to kind of see what they do with Pamela Voorhees. We're going to see what kind of backstory they dive into and what story that they decide to tell us. On the Halloween front, it's fantastic to finally hear that something might be moving forward with that series, or even, like I said, the possibility of another movie. I think that's on the table. We'll just have to wait and see kind of what happens with that and what direction they go. And then Scream 7 and Scream 8, we kind of knew, they were going to be tied together in some fashion. Like I said, I was skeptical at first. I figured, they have to do 7 first before they even think about 8. But if they wrote a 2-part story and they have the idea for this cliffhanger for 7, that's going to lead directly into 8, that could be interesting. Something that shakes things up and gives us something new. So that's all of our recent horror updates, at least the big three that I think kind of count here. I'm looking forward to see how these developments kind of play out, what they lead to, and I can't wait to see what we get from all of this. Once again, thank you guys for checking this video out. If you like what you see here, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, don't forget, watch more movies.